Children who grow up in foster care are more likely than their peers to drop out of school, become addicted to drugs, battle mental illness, homelessness, as well as experience teen pregnancy with their own children entering the foster care system, all of which can contribute to a lifetime of poverty and continue the foster care cycle. In New York City alone, there are close to 15,000 children in foster care. CFR works on behalf of many of their families.
CFR's mission from the beginning has been to provide legal and social services to help families in crisis stay safely with their children and keep them out of foster care whenever possible.
Often our clients are faced with having their children removed under circumstances that would frankly be unimaginable to us, and they don't understand why the city doesn't trust them. Michelle is a perfect example of this.
Michelle, a young mother of 2, as well as a full-time working college student, was trying hard to secure a piece of the American dream for her family when her busy life came to a screeching halt in the summer of 2010 with the tragic, sudden death of her youngest child, Olivia.
That morning, I woke up kind of late, took a shower. I brought Olivia into the room with Ahmed. He's like, something's wrong. She's not moving. And then he touched her and blood came from her nose. We both got really frantic. My dad was just like, what's going on? So we told him, call 911, something's not right. We tried to do CPR. They took me in one separate ambulance and they took her in another. And I can hear them on the radio, kind of describing her. I'm gonna keep believing that they can do something, that they can fix, what's ever going on. And they kept me waiting outside. Cops were there. It was like a whole bunch of people there. And it was just like, everyone's in and out, and no one was telling me anything. And finally at 8 o'clock, they told me that she passed away.
Most parents can't even think about losing one of their children. And Olivia actually died of an undiagnosed heart condition. But at first, nobody knew that. So I think we understand why the city reacted the way that it did. But unlike a lot of us, most of our clients are viewed with suspicion right away. So they have to deal with being accused in addition to dealing with what is probably an unimaginable loss.
When questioned, Michelle and her boyfriend had no explanation for Olivia's death. Michelle's boyfriend admitted that he and Michelle occasionally smoked marijuana. The City Administration for Children's Services, or ACS, was notified.
They just kept going over everything. We told them everything we were doing, told them how everything happened for that day, and they were like, oh, we're gonna take Tavon into care.
Because her boyfriend admitted smoking marijuana, and Michelle explained that she sometimes let her children sleep in bed with her, ACS questioned her judgment. This, combined with Olivia's sudden death, led them to charge Michelle with abuse. ACS alleged Tavon was at risk of being harmed by Michelle. When they took him from Michelle, ACS informed us she would have to go to family court to defend herself and try and get him home.
When we met Michelle on that first day of court, it was clear she was devastated by grief. Tavon had just been removed from her care. She didn't know what was going on, and she felt like she had to agree to everything that ACS asked her to do.
And they would give us information, and it would give us like half the information, or, well, we'll give you that information later. We'll give you that information later.
When we finally got Olivia's autopsy results, it showed that she had died from a previously undiagnosed genetic heart condition. When we got those results, we immediately asked for Tavon to be returned to Michelle's care.
I'm hurting, and he's looking, wondering like, why are you coming to see me for 2 hours a week when I'm normally home, normally with you? When the autopsy results came back, they wanted to do another test, and then when that one came back, it turned out that she had like a heart problem, and they said they was worried about Tavon. So that was hard because Tavon was still in care. And when they made the first appointment, the parent he was with kind of brushed it off, like, oh, well, I have work, I can't do it.
When we went back to court to ask for Tavon to be returned home to Michelle's care, ACS knew that Olivia's death wasn't Michelle's fault. But they brought it up anyway at the hearing to question her judgment. They also came up with more reasons why they wouldn't agree to return Tavon home to Michelle. They brought up the fact that she hadn't been in services long enough, that she hadn't been clean long enough, and most ironically, that she had too much on her plate. ACS had required her to do a drug treatment program, individual counseling, parenting skills, and Michelle did all these services and even went above and beyond. The letters from her service providers were absolutely glowing, but ACS used Michelle's complete compliance with their services and as a way to show that she had too much on her plate.
Once the city understood the cause of Olivia's death, it's really hard to understand why they wouldn't let her little son come home. This was obviously a mother who was willing to engage in any service necessary, so sometimes the city's actions just compound a terrible family tragedy.
I was very nervous. I was very scared. And at the end, I remember Anna and Rebecca always saying, like, you know, you don't have to fight this alone. We're here to help you. We're here for you. Me and Tavon are moving forward and just enjoying what he has. I try to live each day, you know, as its own blessing. Every day I get up, it's a blessing, and I'm thankful for that.
CFR. Every family matters.